What's up, this is EasyOSX, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use picture-in-picture in iMovie. So to start off with, you're going to need both of the videos that you want to use for picture-in-picture. So first, let me go ahead and import those. I'm going to use this one and this one. So once you've got them imported, you've got your main video, and then you've got your secondary video, the one that's going to be the smaller one. First, you want to drag your main video down here into the timeline in the main video slot, essentially the primary video slot. Actually, before I do that, I'm going to actually shrink this video down. And let's go to about here. And we'll do the same about here. Go to about, yeah, that's fine. Drag in here. So then you want to take your second video, and I'm going to do the shrink down of this as well. Again, I'm not focusing on accuracy here, but okay, so I've got this, and I'm now going to drag this on top of the primary video, and you'll see that it actually floats on top of it. And when I drop it, you'll notice you now have this new option appear in the editing section, which is the video overlay settings. It's just to the right of the automatic improvements and just to the left of the color balance. And you actually have a couple different options here when you do this. You have cutaway as the default, but then you also have green/blue screen, split screen, and picture-in-picture. We'll talk about these other options in another video, but for now, you just want to go and select picture-in-picture. Now, once you've done this, you'll notice that the video kind of resizes to a smaller size, and it kind of shrinks down to one part of the video. I'm actually going to quickly rotate this before I do anything else. There we go. So go back to the cutaway, picture options. So now I have the ability to put this wherever I want. So I'll just kind of drag it, click and drag to move it wherever I want, wherever I feel is comfortable. Then you can also use the reset button here to reset it, just to basically go full size, kind of change what you did. Now you'll also notice that there is this option over here, and this is the add a new keyframe option. If you watched our last video on background audio, you know that the keyframe essentially allows you to control where something starts or stops and how certain things interact in the timeline. Generally, I find you don't need to mess with this too much, but it's good to have it there in case you want to get more specific with some of your edits. Lastly, you have a couple appearance options. So this is the transition, how it appears on screen. This is how long it takes to transition. And then you also have some border options here about like if you want to have no border, a thin border, or thick border. So for example, if I turn the thick border on, and I'm going to change that. You can see there's a black border there. And of course, I can change this to, I'm going to drag this color window over here so it's a little bit easier to see. I can change this, for example, to a red border, or I guess that's more of kind of an orangish border, but I now have that border for the video. And I can also give it a drop shadow if I want, so makes it a little bit more apparent that it's there, gives it a little more texture as well. And if I decide, you know what, I've really done overkill, I need to start over on all this, you can hit reset, and everything will go back to the way it was before, to the cutaway, no other edits, etc. So I'm going to actually undo this. Now, if you take some time, you can really explore and play with some really fun options in picture-in-picture mode, like swap here. But let me give you just some basic recommendations that I would use for picture-in-picture. Just for basic stuff, I would recommend dissolve or zoom. Keep it relatively short. I'd say 0.5 is the default, and that's generally fine. Maybe no more than a second, unless you want to do immediate. And I think border is actually not a bad thing to do. In general, I think it's something where it kind of helps make a distinguishing mark. Orange is probably not a good color. I think black or white is going to be fine, unless you're trying to go with a theme. Perhaps you have a color for your channel, or perhaps you're doing something like highlighting different people. So for example, if you have multiple people in a video, Let's Plays are a common example, and you have multiple people running around, you may want to have one person being one color, let's say red, another person being a different color, blue, or it's also a good way to highlight, for example, what team someone is. So you may just say, hey, we're showing this from their perspective, they're on the red team or the blue team. That's a good way to highlight as well. Shadow, I personally like, but in general, it doesn't really add anything to the video. In general, you can just turn it off and leave it off. So thank you guys so much for watching. If you want more Mac and iOS tips, tricks, and advice, be sure to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like if it helped you out. You can also check us out on the web at easyosx.net, and you can also check it out on social media. Thanks again for watching.